baby. We are live and direct. I am truly excited for tonight's show, you guys, because the gentleman that you see on the screen is somebody that I've known for a while now. I've seen this gentleman grow. He's doing amazing things. We got football tonight, so we're about to get into it, you guys. We got a great show lined up. But first and foremost, as always, I got to introduce brother from St. Louis, even though I ain't been there had no barbecue or nothing yet. I got to introduce him, and that is none other than the great Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
What's going on, Coach? Man, we got another lot to talk about, man. It's a lot going on. Heck of a week last week. Couple teams showed up, man, that we didn't expect, and a couple teams we expected to didn't even get off the bus. So we got to talk about it.
There you go, baby. That's why you got to come to the locker room show every week to get your fix of football. So I know we got football on the tube, but right now you got us right here in the locker room show. Special show tonight. You see the gentleman in the middle of the screen. This is somebody that had a phenomenal career himself, you guys. He was an all-state performer coming out of PA. Had a chance to go off and play some Division I football, then even have a cup of tea in the NFL. Now, you guys, he's helping young people in the community on and off the field. He is a head coach at Mount Healthy. I love the name, Mount Healthy High School, and the kids love him. He's doing big things. He's got a lot of game for you, and he's brought it here tonight to the locker room show. That's none other than the great Jordan Stevens. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Coach Wood? I appreciate you having me, man. Definitely excited to be here.
Oh, man, I've been waiting for this, and I know you're busy. I didn't want to call on you, but you answered the call, man, so I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you even thinking of me. I'm a low man on the totem pole around here, man.
Oh, no, you're doing big things, man. So I want to get right into it. I see some people already coming in the chat. The great coach Eric Foss is with us out of North Alabama. Thank you for joining us. I even see, as always, holding me down, my mother-in-law saying, hi, son. She's coming out of Denver. She loves some football. Broncos, mom, they about to come. They say, you got your quarterback. We're going to see what you got. So let's get right into it, man. You went from PA to Miami of Ohio. And you had options. You were an all-state performer. And the interesting thing about him, Q, is, you know, we've been talking the whole Travis Hunter thing, the wide receiver or DB. Well, when Coach was coming out, Coach Jordan Stevens, he had an opportunity to play tight end or defensive end. He went to the state game, all-state performer, and had the size to play on either side of the ball. So I want to ask you, Coach, because some kids are dealing with this dilemma, and depending on which side you choose could kind of make or break your career. So how did you choose your position going from high school to college?
It kind of chose itself at some point. Obviously, back then, tight ends weren't used the way they're used in today's game. So defense was kind of the second nature for me. I mean, defense just came natural. Offense obviously is fun. I wasn't a huge blocker, but I'd much rather catch that thing and run with it.
Yeah.
So I was more running with it. But so what's funny is even when I went to Miami, my first 3 years, Coach Montgomery actually, I got recruited to play outside backer DN. And then whenever Coach Haywood came, he actually switched me to offense anyway. So my last 2 years, I played tight end, kind of like H-back type. So I got my dose of both sides.
That's what's
now,
up.
was it one of those things, Coach Jay, where they said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. How do you feel? Or was it one of those things where this is already done, you're going in with the offensive room?
No, man, they just put me in there. I wasn't – they just threw me in there. Also, I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, though, just because they switched the defense up when they got there, and it kind of didn't do what I was best at. So when they moved me to offense, it made sense. We were bigger. We used tight ends more. Started using an H a lot more. But whenever I first went to Miami, there was no H, there was no tight end. So I understood why I didn't play there, but he switched the offense up, so it definitely fit me better on offense.
Let me ask you this: for the athlete, you kind of switch by default, by coaching change. But maybe there's some kids that are legit, kind of Travis Hunter style, on both sides of the ball, and high score junior college. Do you have any advice on which side they should choose? Should it be just which one you love the best? Do you have any advice?
So I go through that a lot right now with the kids that I got. So everybody wants to play, everyone wants to be a receiver. And I get it. Everybody wants the ball, everybody wants to score touchdowns. My biggest thing is what I ask a lot of my receivers, because I got a lot of good receivers right now. So my biggest question is you got to understand there's probably a million of you throughout the country. There are a ton of, you just go down to a school in Florida and there's 101 school. So to me, it's just like, do you want to try and fight through that mess, or it's very rare where you find a 6 foot long DB. So for me, obviously it's cool to play and get the ball, but if you want to make money nowadays, figuring out DB, I feel like it's not an easier track, but it's a more accessible track.
Yeah, they're harder to find. They're harder to find, And it's like I was telling Coach T, about a month or so ago, man. Whether it's college or even in the professional level now, it's like, remember too, he's like base D is nickel now. What we call nickel is base D now. So it's like teams now, you gotta have 5 or 6 corners. That's just regular. That's not even extra. That's just like, I need that for my base defense is 5 corners. So yeah, definitely, man. I agree with that.
No, I got
that's a good point right there.
Right now, I have a DB. He's committed to Wisconsin. Before
I got somebody for him to talk to then.
Man, before he committed there, he had Michigan. He had, Bama was on him. So he had pretty much every Big Ten school, SEC, Tennessee, and we were traveling all over the country to kind of see them all. But my thing, and to be honest with you, he's probably my best receiver as well. He's number 2 right there in that picture. But he's probably my best receiver as well.
Gotcha.
And but like just him going to Wisconsin and kind of figuring out DB wise, they play with 3 safeties. I was like, dude, it's a lot easier to get on the field when there's 3 safeties playing compared to offensively when you're really good offensively. And I think he could play. I think he could be a high level kid at receiver as well. But I just think that the money being made at DB is a lot more accessible.
It is. It is.
Great point right there. And, that's a real dilemma for some of you kids out there where you kind of love both positions, or maybe you love one more, but you're thinking, hey, long-term longevity. So I appreciate you guys sharing that right there. We're on to our next subject, you guys. And if you're joining us for the first time, all of the topics are on the bottom ticker right there. This next topic is something that we have visited before in the locker room show. And I think that is going to be an ongoing topic for us because it's something that's big in the industry. But right now, Coach Stevens, you're coaching at a public school in Ohio, and obviously we know how big football is in Ohio. And I want to ask you, I don't know if questions have come up to you when you're dealing with kids or with parents about being able to go from a public school to a big time university. Maybe that's something that's not as big in Ohio, but what's your opinion on that? Do you think that they can access everything from your school that they can to get to the next level that they need?
Man, in Ohio, the private schools, man, they digging in. They just finding ways to take public school kids.
I'm telling you.
They definitely make it easy. So if you're in Ohio, if you're in a failing school district, which a lot of public, most of where these kids are coming from, most of those school districts are failing statewide. So they provided a voucher. So private schools are allowed to basically, like, you can come here for free if your public district is failing. And so, I mean, they make it really easy to go there. So I think the biggest thing for me is we talk about like the transfer portal in college. Man, the transfer portal in high school is just as real. It is very fluent consistently. And I think the biggest thing with you're saying access to college. I think if you go to a public school where the coach has connections with college coaches and is willing to put in the work, I think public does just as much as private.
Right.
I just think private school coaches have to do a little bit less because obviously college coaches are just coming out of the woodwork to find you. Here, like at Mount Healthy, I mean, I want to say this is going into my third year. And as of last year, I haven't done the count this year, but I've had six total. I have 6 total D1 kids. I want to say I'm right around 17 D2 to D1, and I'm right around. I'm going on 167 scholarships between 17 kids.
Damn.
So it's possible. It's possible to do it. It's just really, really. It takes a lot more work. I mean, we drove all over the country. I mean, we did a trip to Temple in one day, and that's a 9-hour trip from Cincinnati.
Wow.
We drove. We started driving probably 2 a.m. Got there, and we started driving back at, I want to say, midnight to 1 a.m. So we did a full 27-hour, 28-hour day.
Turn and burn, yeah.
So it's hard, and a lot of public school coaches aren't willing to do that.
Let me ask you this, Jay. How many teams are in your conference, in your league?
So we're Division II.
Okay.
The highest in Ohio is Division I. So we're right around. We're near that. We're a small D2. Last year we were a D3 team, and we just got bumped up because of enrollment this year into D2. So we're a small D2 school. I want to say there's 24 in my region.
In your region, how many do you think head coaches, were doing the things that you do recruiting wise, as far as 2 a.m. in the morning, bringing these kids from state to state?
You're not getting many of me. That's the thing. And to be honest with you, at a place like Mount Healthy, I mean, it's almost like you have to do it, right? Because we don't have the big name yet. We do have a couple guys that are in the NFL. Brian Cook, David Montgomery. So obviously they laid a good foundation for us. But currently, I mean, just looking at those guys, we didn't have the college kind of recruiting world at Mount Healthy that other places had.
Yeah,
so I had to find a foundation. And I had to put in all that work to kind of build a foundation so guys know, like, we're here.
Gotcha. No, that's amazing right there. And thank you for sharing with us, because I think, Q, and you know this from the school you went to, once you start making those grassroots efforts and the community buys in, then, you start building off of that. So it does take some time, and that's a lot of progress, man, for that short of time. For you producing that much talent. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and thank you for joining us. Coach Wood with you. This is the Locker Room Show. You got the guru, great Coach Stevens with us. Mount Healthy, they're doing big things in Ohio, you guys. And football's big in Ohio. If you don't know, it's big in Ohio. Yeah, MPA, that whole area, man. So Big Ten area. So speaking of Big Ten, one of these schools is in the Big Ten, and this is the rivalry that I grew up with and was fortunate enough to play in. But big game from my bus versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But I want to take a particular angle to this, and I'll start off with you, Guru. Nebraska, the only Power 4 university to start a true freshman quarterback. true freshman, straight out of high school, only university at the Power 4 level to start a true freshman quarterback. And he's going into his first big college game. And he's open for the press, Q. He's been open for the press. He's been nailing it, doing good. But I want to ask you, if you were Coach Rule, would you lock down access to your true freshman quarterback, or would you just say, hey, this is the big leagues now, you say what you want to say?
Well, I would say what you want to say, but it kind of depends on the kid. Actually, no, it really depends on the kid. You got to understand who we talking about, man. Like, his dad is probably one of the best old linemen in the last 20 years, right? Like, Dominic Raiola was in our era, man, 12-year NFL vet, all pro, absolute dog, you know, hog in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just like, you know, like a killer, you know. So he's been groomed for this. So he's a little bit different, right? So when it comes to Coach Rule, you know, looking at him, it's no different than Shedeur. They're used to that. They grew up with that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a big deal in regards to, you know, Dylan, man. It really is.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit, Coach, because you may have to play a young kid sometimes, and you got to wonder if he's ready for the limelight. I mean, this is a whole new level for this kid. Big game, big rivalry. Would you open up your freshman to talk to the media, or would you kind of shut it down?
I think if you were to ask this question a few years ago, I'd probably say kind of calm him down some. But nowadays with this whole world of NIL, and he's probably getting paid $1 million some dollars to kind of play there. I mean more than that. I'm sure my man has a press consultant. My man has an agent. Nowadays, I just think he's so not just his fault. Like I assume he's been groomed from birth, but now he has so many people with all the money they're throwing out that I don't think there's a choice anymore. He's being paid so much money that if you take him away from that media presence, it's going to take away some of the money that and some of the endorsement deals and things like that they're paying him with.
Yeah, I mean, and to piggyback off of that too, I mean, man, look at the whole aura. I mean, Nebraska has, you know, not been in Nebraska of old for a long time. So it's one of those things where, again, it's everything in this situation that's surrounding him, right? It's his dad's alma mater, Tommy Frazier. That number was retired. So Tommy Frazier blessed him with that 15.
Good point.
See, you see what I'm saying? That was Tommy Frazier's number. That number was retired. So yeah, I'm going to let him talk. We need that exposure. That's going to help with more recruits. We need that.
Because very interesting, you know, usually he's the only freshman in all of Power 4, especially with the portal, you know, so he's got free reigns. He's the king of Lincoln, Colorado.
The king of Lincoln, right.
Yeah, already. And it seems like he's making all the right moves. So big game this weekend. Obviously, we'll be tapping in and talking about that next week, you guys. So we are on to our next topic. Speaking of big games, we got NFL action. Love it. Now it's football season, y'all. It's full on football. I know you're in the thick of it, Jay. So we're talking some Ravens and Chiefs right now on TV, probably heading to halftime here soon. But since we're in the first game of the season, I thought it would be good to just give a little friendly predictions. So we'll start off with our guests. Go with it, Jay. Give us your Super Bowl teams for 2024. We're going to have to mark the team.
I'm going to just tell you, I'm already like Steelers is going to win it all. I'm just letting you know. Jay Fields going to come in game 4 or 5. He's going to take over.
The whole breakdown.
Yeah, he'll probably go 4 games sitting. All right, just kind of getting his feet wet. But Steelers, it's going to be Steelers-Niners.
All right. So we got one for Steelers-Niners, y'all. Guru, come on, baby. You got to give it to me if you're going to be the guru.
I'm calling last year's rematch.
Whoa.
I'm calling last year's rematch. But I'm going to tell you one thing about the Chiefs, man. everyone else, man, like I get it, man. You get through camp, man, week 1, week 2, and it's like everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna have a great season and we got some, but it's something about the aura of Kansas City runs parallel to all those Patriots teams. It's we're gonna win all this shit or nothing. We're not in this for 12 or 13 wins, 14. We're in, like, they expect to win it all. From day one, and they play with this swagger that's just different. That's why they
Are
keep
you
going
already
back.
calling it dynasty? Are you already calling it
dynasty? If they get there this year and win it, you gotta call it dynasty. You don't have a choice. If they get there and win
ever done
it,
3.
yeah. If they get there and win, but that's the thing about it's who's gonna stop them. Who's gonna stop them? It's nobody to stop them. If they stay healthy, they like everyone has been there, done that. It's nothing new to anyone. They added, they added what was the kid from Texas, the burner, so it's like, man, they only got worse. You see what I'm saying? But it's the expectation, whether it's high school or college, it's just like Miami in the early 2000s. It was like, man, we know we're gonna, like, whoever we're playing, they already know they're going to lose. Just strapping it up. You already know the game's over. We're going to play, but y'all know it's over.
All right. So you guys heard it from the guru right there that he's saying it's a rematch between the Chiefs and the Niners. We got the great Jimmy Rucker coming in here, and he's giving us a little curveball.
That's my second pick, Jimmy. Hey, I hear you. That's my second pick. If I would say the Niners, I would call that. That might be it.
And Jimmy's going Niners in our Lions and Chiefs. And I'll give you this. For mine, I'm actually agreeing with both of you on it seems like there's a consensus. I'm going Niners, NFC. And then in the AFC, I'm actually going with a team that's playing tonight, but it's not the Chiefs. I'm going Baltimore. No. So Niners and Baltimore is who I got. So Niners and Baltimore for Coach Wood, for Coach Jay. You got Steelers and Niners, and then for the guru, you got Niners and Chiefs rematch.
Yeah,
so
man.
There you
I hear you, Jimmy. I hear you on those lines. The lines are a problem. They just quiet, but the lines are a problem. Keep your eye on them.
We're gonna see who came out on top. Hopefully, we at least get one. All of us in the show. So we're going to see. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and we've got the great Jordan Stevens with us. Mount Healthy, you guys. Check out Mount Healthy. It's a public school, but they're doing amazing things. He's getting kids to college. He knows his stuff. Got a great staff, so you guys got to check them out. Let's get into this next one because you guys, college football has changed. And we're zipping through this show, but I think this is a pretty important topic. Florida State is got some people maybe looking at Norvell's job, which I see as interesting considering they didn't lose a game last year until the bowl game. Obviously, some people aren't happy with DJU. So I'm going to ask you, Coach Jay, are we in a day and age? And give us your opinion if you're the athletic director in Tallahassee right now. Is Norvell safe with you, or are you knocking on his door having a chat?
I'm going to give you two different kind of scenarios. My first scenario is, wouldn't it be just the Cinderella story? Deion's kids are going to the NFL, right? FSU starts to kind of like on that bubble.
We're going to talk to Deion
about coming home.
Okay, we're going to go there. You're still my coach.
I mean, it's just coach. And if Deion goes to Florida State, if he can do what he's doing at Colorado, and you're not getting many kids to go to Colorado, if you can get it like Florida State, I mean, he's taking the whole state with him.
It's over. It's over.
So I mean, but that would be my first. The other scenario is I just feel like if you give too much of a leash, like if you let too much out on coaches nowadays, you're losing. The issue is no one's patient. Recruits aren't patient. The TV isn't patient. Like you're losing recruits off day like that are big time recruits. And that's what scared me about being too patient with it. I would say I think their next game is Memphis. So I want to say if you're even close with Memphis, I'm chokeholding as an athletic director.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So there you go with Coach Jay. He's saying they're on thin ice even after last year. Talk to me, Guru. I mean, he bought you 13-0. Should have went to the playoffs last year. Are you giving Norvell a grace year, or is there an issue?
Nah, man, this is like the saying, yesterday's price is not today's price. It's the same scenario. Last year is last year. You coming out 0-2, you have a bad showing. We've had some conversations in regards to, the DJ. I don't know performance-wise what's going on with him, because it was like we saw him struggling so bad at Clemson, but then we saw flashes of brilliance in Oregon State, and now he's here. And it's kind of back to the Clemson situation. My thing is this: as an athletic director at Florida State, whether we can somehow get Deion here or not, or even if we keep our current coach, we have to have a hell of a good showing, because if we do, we can make our bid to the SEC. We can throw our hat in the conversation, slide in the SEC. And I really believe, off the sources, I won't say that's what Florida State wants to do, but it's like if you're getting if your ass handed to you, man, in the ACC, it probably is not going to happen. But if they can make a good showing, then that's a strong possibility.
Okay, you guys. I mean, so and we got Jimmy coming in saying LeVar Arrington said Deion wanted that job at FSU when Taggart got fired. Okay, so that will be very, very interesting. But both of these gentlemen are saying, hey, I don't care what you did last year. You better not lose to Memphis. You better make something happen this season. So,
like you
all
said,
right.
Coach,
you better win by 100.
Hey, I'm about to say, Coach, it better not be no 27-24 neither. I'm telling you,
all right.
it's going to have to be,
Norvell, baby, you gotta tighten up so your wife can continue to have the country club access right there. So there you go. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and we're breezing through. The lightning round is coming up, and I am excited to bring this gentleman through the lightning round because I got some questions to ask. So we are list right here. And for those that don't know, the lightning round is a 60-second blitz, you guys, where we're going to rattle off some questions for Coach Jay, head coach, Mount Healthy, and he's going to give us the first thing that comes to his mind unfiltered. Now, he might have some of his kids watching this show, so hopefully he keeps it PG-13 at least. But we got some good questions for Coach. You ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, so 60 seconds, and let me get my stopwatch ready. We didn't have a lightning round last week because we didn't know if Mark Clayton was going to get in on time, so we had to ad-lib, but we got lightning round this week. So he's at 0, and he's got 60 seconds, y'all, to tell me the first thing that comes to his mind. Got some either or and all of that. So, all right, number 1. And this isn't for fun. You got a dinner on the locker room show if you can get to 17 or higher in 60 seconds. Shoot. So you got to go. You got to go. Now, 16 is still good because you get one protector light since we're in different areas. So even 16 is good, and we'll probably deem our winner, you guys, next week, too. So that's a whole nother thing. Actually, we need a duel between Coach Logan and Agent Mom. We need a duel between them two gurus. So let's get after it. I got a good list, and we are getting started with the lightning round. So number one, he's got 60 seconds.
Here we go.
First thing that comes to your mind, Jay. Gateway High School, go.
Dogs.
Archie Crouch.
Oh, my mentor.
Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes?
Pat Mahomes.
Best player you ever played against?
Justin King in high school.
Derrick Henry or Marshawn Lynch?
Marshawn Lynch.
Mashed potatoes or baked potato?
Baked potato.
Favorite superhero? He's cooking.
Superman.
Grits with sugar, grits with salt.
Sugar.
Trip to the Bahamas or trip to Dubai?
Ooh, Dubai.
48 seconds. Favorite NFL team growing up?
Steelers.
Play football in the rain, play football in the snow.
Ooh, snow.
Dak Prescott or Trevor Lawrence?
Dak.
Time. We'll give him that one.
Give him that one.
That
Give him
one
that.
time.
Yeah, give him
All
that.
right, he was rolling.
Yeah,
Coach was
he
rolling.
was. Yeah, he was.
All right,
Yeah,
and we're going to add them up. Once again, it gets on a tech delay. You guys know how we roll. And then we're going to revisit a couple of these. So let's see. He was doing well. 17 is the number, but he's good with 16. So number one was Gateway High School. You guys, that's his old high school in PA. He said Dogs. R.V. Crouch, that's his old mentor, took over the football team for him. He said, that's my mentor. Lamar Jackson or Pat Holmes? He said he's rolling with that. We're going to see who wins tonight. That's for 4. Best player you ever played against? He's going with Justin King out of high school. That's 5. And he must have been a great player since I was in high school. You played college and got a cup of tea in the league. Derrick Henry. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, I remember him. Derrick Henry, Marshawn Lynch. He's going with Marshawn Lynch for the number 6. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes. Going with the baked potatoes for the 7. Favorite superhero. He says, give me that Superman for number 8. Grits with salt, grits with sugar. He's going grits with sugar for number 9. Trip to Bahamas, trip to Dubai. He said, ooh, take me to Dubai for number 10. Number 11, favorite team growing up. We knew this. It was the Steelers. Number 12, football in the rain, football in the snow, 13. And then Dak Prescott for 14 over Trevor Lawrence. So
he was cooking.
The tech delay. With the tech delay, he's got
cooking up.
And that's Coach Stevens. We appreciate you. That was great right there. I think Superman got you. I think Superman. So there you go. We are on to our last topic, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy said the sugar on the grits will start a riot at the Waffle House.
Jimmy,
so we are on to our last topic, you guys. If you're live with us, the comment section is live, as you see. Feel free to ask Coach Jay a question. I mean, all-state performer, high school, Miami of Ohio, where he did dual duty, played 2 positions, and cup of tea in the league, now coaching Mount Healthy. So if you got a question for him, feel free. But Q, I know you got something for the great coach.
Definitely. So, Coach, I wanted to ask you, tell us what's a couple things that you couldn't anticipate upon you becoming a head coach.
I think the biggest thing thus far has been parents. I feel like parents, obviously we all can pretty much guess. Parents believe they know it all.
Yeah.
They know every call, and they believe their kid is a star. I think the other thing, I want to say I probably will go with recruiting. Recruiting has just been a lot, especially with kids that don't have all the resources that other places have. Right. I mean, I've had to come out of my pocket for most of the stuff, these trips, food. So I think that has been stressful. It's been a lot. And now with adding in parents believing that like everyone is impatient, everyone believes their kid is D1 and they got to be D1 as a freshman. I mean, all the timelines are just sped up. Yeah. So I think that's been hard. That's been difficult.
I can imagine.
In your opinion, Jay, how soon do you think you can tell if a kid is D1?
Obviously, kind of how what Q said earlier, definitely depends on the kid. That kid that's committed to Wisconsin currently as a senior, I mean, he started as a freshman. So it was like he came out at, I mean, he's been 6 foot, 180 corner and receiver since I've known him.
Yeah.
He's grown to 6'1". So, I mean, as a 6', 180 corner, and physical and fast, you kind of knew. The young man that you keep showing, JJ Etheridge, he's supposed to be a senior in high school, but I got him to graduate early.
Nice.
He was the Mount Healthy's first ever early grad.
Oh, nice.
To leave and enroll at Kent State.
Okay. Okay.
So he actually starts for them. He's number 25 currently. And he starts outside receiver for them. But like a kid like him, he didn't start as a freshman. He was really small. He was scrawny. I mean, he's still small and scrawny, but
he had to grow.
And as a freshman, he thought he was a hooper. So he was like, he had hoop dreams.
Right.
So, I mean, it took time to kind of build him, and really he didn't have an offer until I got here. And that was his sophomore year. So I think it just depends on the kid.
Have you heard anything at your level, the high school level in your area, about high school kids and NIL? Is that a thing yet? Is that being talked about in some of the recruiting dealings? What's your thoughts on that?
So I've sat in multiple meetings with my kids on NIL deals, and it's tough. And obviously every kid believes what they see on Twitter. And they want to get paid. Hey, Coach Stevens, why ain't I getting $500,000? And I'm like, dude, man, like everyone isn't getting $500,000 to go play football, but everyone believes they are. So that's been tough. But it's hard to. I've actually had to consult a lawyer one time on a contract to kind of just look it over, see what it looks like, see if it looks good. Because I'm afraid to mess a kid up.
What was the reasoning behind getting the lawyer involved? Was that because of the money involved with the contract?
Yes.
Or you felt
and
like
I think
it was
the other thing
necessary?
is too is like I just, like I said, I keep referring to my Wisconsin commit currently. I mean, when you're throwing a lot of money at a 17-year-old kid, and me, I'm the type of guy like, dude, I don't want you to see any of that. Like I was like, you better live on 10% of whatever this number is. And obviously all these kids I was like, all these kids want Durango, whatever else. Like they want these trucks and all this. I'm like, dude, just calm down. So I had a lawyer kind of look over the contract and just make sure it's like, that it's legit, that I'm not mad, because I mean I haven't seen many of these, and I don't want to be the one in 2 years where this mom and this kid come back and say, "Hey, Coach Stevens, you screwed me."
So
that's where
that
it's been.
I didn't think about that. You know that some of that burden falling on the high school coach now.
Yeah, I think a lot of these kids, it's maybe not at a school like Mount Healthy, but like a modern day, I bet you all those kids they probably all got agents already. That's the thing.
I know it's a lot of kids. I know it's quite a few kids on IMG squad. It does for sure.
Yep.
You know,
and that kid that is on modern day, the Chris Henry kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got Chris Henry.
Oh,
Jr.
Chris.
So he came. We played against him. So
really,
he was in Cincinnati before he moved out to modern day.
That's right.
He sure was.
Yeah, there was a whole transaction taking place with him going to modern day. All of a sudden, you go to the number one team in the country.
So let me ask you this, Coach. Since you said that, is he as advertised?
He's big. He's good. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you might want to Google though my corner that's committed to Wisconsin. Go ahead and Google some of them shots when he was going against him. Though.
Hey, good. Hey, listen.
He made some money for himself, huh?
I got a good friend of mine that won the Thorpe out of Wisconsin, man. Because Coach Alvarez built Wisconsin off of my high school. So I be in touch, and I'll try to have Jamar talk to him, man. You know what I'm saying? That'll be cool. That'll be cool. That's my guy. Matter of fact, him and my man Scott Starks. He went third round. Matter of fact, he came out with you in 05. He went third round out of Wisconsin corner.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. See, that'd be good to talk to guys like that.
Yeah, please, man. Please.
Yeah, man. Up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there you go,
that's
man.
what's up.
Yeah, have a Thorpe Award winner reaching out to that kid. Definitely.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
No, that is amazing. I appreciate you sharing and your honesty. Can you tell us this? I know you can't get into numbers, and I'll let you go. But was the offer that he got, the NIL offer from Penn State, was that the largest offer? Or did he have other offers as well?
He had he had a few.
Okay. That was the best one.
The young man that went to Kent State. That's where is that who you're talking about?
The one that committed to Penn State
or Wisconsin.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So no, his biggest. I mean, I think he came down to. I want to say we went to the top 5 were Tennessee, Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Oh, well, damn.
I want to say I can't remember the 5th.
And all of those had money attached to them. All of those.
Offers. All of them had money attached to them. Especially going to those types of schools.
Yeah, man.
And
those bags
still being attached. So, yeah, you're still having those conversations now with schools.
Right.
But yeah, those were his top 5. But I think before he committed, I would think he was around 27 to 30 total offers.
Did any private schools try to poach him from you?
Oh yeah, a ton. Oh my goodness, man. He would show me pictures of like schools, I mean, public and private. They have his jersey hanging up in the lockers saying you can be here. Oh yeah, man, a ton.
It's a dirty game.
Oh man, a ton.
It's a dirty game now.
Him, my quarterback, actually too. My quarterback has been trying to get poached by a lot. So, and my quarterback has 8 D1 offers right now.
I saw that.
So I mean, yeah, my whole team.
Is that number 7?
That's number 7, correct?
Okay.
So yeah, I think, like I said, it's just like college though. Like if you don't have the relationship with kids, I think just my relationship with them,
great point.
Keeps them in that program. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I that's why I say, and it's so. That's why I wanted you to speak on that because it's so hard, man, for public school head coaches, man, to try to keep it, really build a program, like you are there to do. Right, mm-hmm. Because of these the day and times that we live in, man. With there's other schools having no shame, man. I mean, if they see one of your guys, man, they coming at them full throttle. But it's the coaching relationship and it's the community, man. Often that keeps kids, at that public school, man.
Oh, 100%.
Because you playing with your guys, man. You you didn't grow up with. Your whole life, man. Like this is my family, this is my squad. I've been like a lot of those guys, they same neighborhoods, been playing with each other, man, since they were 6, 7, 8 years old. So it's different than I'm from a PA or Ohio. Now all of a sudden I'm an ING, I'm in Florida. Like, yeah, I know I'm on a dope squad and we got all this money, but I don't know any of these dudes, man. Mm-hmm. I don't have any relationship with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's a different field. Me and Coach talk about that. Even when you get to college, man, we're hitting the transfer portal. A lot of these guys, they come in as freshmen. By the time they juniors and seniors, they don't know anybody on the squad.
Oh yeah. Nah,
that's a hell of a.
I've had IMG actually reached out to my QB and the Wisconsin commit to get him to come down to IMG. And it's hard. Like it's hard. It's hard. And it's hard as a coach to be like, hey, it's best to stay with me. Like, how do I explain that?
Because you don't want to be like you holding them back, neither.
It's hard. It's hard. And that's kind of what makes me do all these trips and all this stuff to be like, look, I'm gonna work for you, and make sure you do and make sure I do what's best for you. But it's hard nowadays to keep kids.
Yeah.
So I get it. And that's why even when we talked about Norvell, like if you're not winning, if you're not helping, then just like Norvell, I'm on the hot seat. Like, because kids ain't going to play for me if I'm not winning. Or if I'm not getting them to school, if we're not doing the right things, like
because they just want to be able to trust you. They want it's two things. They want to be able to trust you, and once they understand that they got talent for the next level, they want to make sure they can eat where they at, man, and they'll stay. 9 times out of 10, they'll stay. They can trust you, and they know they can eat where they at. They'll stay.
The other thing is you got to get the hardest part is being able to explain that to their parents. That's been my like trying to convince a parent, as much as I love your kid loves me. Like instead of going to this private school where he's going to eat, like, hey, just stay with me and I'll help him through whatever he needs to be helped with. So that's hard too.
Yeah,
because parents like believe their kids, if they go to the next big school, they're going to be the Ohio State commit. Like, so I'm like, it's hard to navigate through it for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. My heart goes out, man. Keep doing, you doing something right here. Keep doing what you're doing. You got a squad and boys are eating. So you getting it done. Yeah, man, you getting it done. You getting it
100%, man. And you got whatever you need from me and from our team, man. 100%. Let's get these kids to college. You're already doing it. However we can help, we got your back, man. So thank you for joining us tonight. This is the great Coach Jordan Stevens. You guys, you see the work, you see the passion, you see the effort that this man is laying down for these young men. So support the community, support their program if you're in the community, and you guys keep an eye out for Coach Jay, because he's building a winner, man. He's building a winner, and we're loving every step of it, man. So thank you for joining us tonight. I know you got a game coming up, so good luck this weekend.
Appreciate you. Thank you,
guys. Good luck on the season, Coach.
You having me. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
No doubt. So, hey, that is the great Coach Jay. Q, I mean, man, it's no joke building a program. I mean, at that level, you're wearing all the hats.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different ball game, man, in the public schools now, man. It really is. Like, I don't know how these coaches are doing it, because it's like every bit of talent, talent that you have, that because you as a coach, especially, guys like Coach ourselves that have been there, done that at the highest level, you have an eye, like, kids that are going to play at the next level. Like, you can see it damn near immediately. And it's like, it's so like, how do you keep these kids here? How do you keep them here when Modern Day calls, or St. John Bosco calls, or IMG calls? That's hard, man.
And I think, like him, you have to over-index, and this is what the college coaches might not be doing. You got to over-index on the relationship. You go the extra effort, and you just pray that kid stays loyal to you. But I didn't think about the other side of what he was talking about, where it's like, damn, I don't want to hold him back from something that could be really good for him too.
That's exactly.
Like, they might be able to provide something he really needs, that's where it kind of gets tough. And then the other thing, man, I didn't even think about, which is crazy, is I didn't think about all the NIL stuff that lands also on the coaches for some of these kids, because maybe they're working with a kid that doesn't have a bunch of resources, or a family that knows what they're doing, So the kid's leaning on the coach. Coach, can you read this NIL deal? Can you look at what Penn State talking about? What Wisconsin talking about? And then he's like, I don't want to mess up the kid.
Right. It's
a trip.
Hey, man, it is, man. And I think one thing, too, that's so interesting, man, I guess because, when me being down here in Texas is – this is the
once NIL opens up there,
man, that'll be a whole month's worth of shows. Just that, right? Right. But what I was gonna say is Texas is one of the places that is so mind blowing, because the public schools here that are powerhouses, it's like they're galvanized. So it's like you can't go into Katy and take a kid from Katy and take him to IMG, like, because it's like Katie's already a powerhouse. North Shore's already a powerhouse. DeSoto's already a powerhouse. North Oak Cliff's already a powerhouse. So it's like these kids, man, it's a lot of
So
public
why has
schools.
Texas been able to keep a model where the public schools can still thrive and kids don't feel like they need to leave?
You know what? It's the pipeline. It's the pipeline, and it's about, again, winning and having success. And kid after it's like it's over time. You have to build that over time, right? So like over time, you keep sending kids, to school,
So
keep
you're
sending them to
saying the
school.
roots are so
The
strong.
roots are so strong. Yeah, man. It's like, and then it's like everybody from these schools that goes to the league, they come back, they do camps,
Has your
they
high school
quarterback.
been able to still do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I mean, but again, that's the only way
Because in
public schools.
California, it is strictly,
Strictly
dude,
private
about the
school.
private
Yeah,
school.
yeah. See, it's not
Um,
like that down here in Texas, man, at all, man. Like all the schools I just named are all public schools, man. North Shore is a public school. South Lake
there's
Carroll's a
some
public school.
outliers. There's some
You know,
outliers, but not many, man.
Odessa,
Not many.
Permian, Allen, all these schools, we talking top 25 in the country, big schools, and all public. But they're still, but they're still right there with the IMGs and those type of schools. It's just that, man, it really, when I used to think it was a little bit of a myth, man, but really, like, Texas football, high school wise, man, really is a different creature. Because, like I said, this is the only place I've seen where
Even
public
more
school,
so
public schools, private schools don't run the table here in Texas. Public schools still run the table in Texas, and that's the only place I've ever really seen that where it's still like that.
Interesting. Very interesting. And you
Yeah.
guys heard on the show, Coach Jay is in Ohio, and he said literally his players are having other schools, other high schools, basically sending him videos and pictures of his jersey and literally trying to recruit him from his high school team. So very interesting how sports are today. But I mean, if you're a legit athlete, man, it's a good time to be a legit athlete.
Oh, I'm telling you, it really is. It really is. And again, like we started off, the show tonight. Don't be afraid, guys. You might end up at a different position. Be flexible. Parents, don't hardwire your kids to be like, no, he has to be a running back, because he might just end up getting a D1 offer, man, or a school, wherever, playing safety. So don't hardwire your kids. You teach them to get in where they
He
fit
said
in.
that kid was his best receiver.
My point exactly. But a lot of times, again, especially a lot of, dads, they'll fall apart as soon as, you take the ball out their son's hands, because everybody thinks their kid's a running back, a quarterback, whatever the case may be. But like you said, you might be an outside linebacker, you might be a safety, man, or a DN or whatnot, and that really may be your ticket. So you get in where you fit in, man. Don't go back and forth toe to toe as a parent with the coach, trying to railroad your kid into only playing one position, man. The whole goal is getting to school. You don't give a damn how it gets done.
Let me ask you this before I let you go, brother. Let me ask you this. Your kid's the top running back in Houston. He's got offers from Tennessee, Michigan, Ohio State, all over. Prime at your house. Prime at your house with the kids.
Right.
Offers are on the table. All the offers for young Rowe got money attached to them. Six figures plus.
Right.
Is there a dollar figure? And I'm saying this fun. We having some fun, but also this might be something for a parent to think about.
Right.
Is there a dollar figure where Guru literally takes the decision out of the kid's hands and says, you ain't turning down that much? Is there, I mean, if they're all 100, 152, okay, well, maybe we really like this coach. We're gonna let 100,000 slide,
Right.
But is there a dollar figure where it is probably different for every parent? Right. But is there a dollar figure where the Guru would say, that's a little too much to turn down.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I always look at the big picture of things, coach, and that's a great scenario. I would actually be like, even if it's an amount where it's like that's a lot of zeros. I would look at it like, well, if you offer my kid that, I'm smart enough to know it's other killers out there in the water. It's, you know what I'm saying? So B, it's got to be for that particular school, other kids that have been offered the same. So it's one of those things where, do we really want to go there? How soon can we get on the field? I would rather take less money.
Texas is offering Young Rowe $1 million.
Right.
USC is the second highest at 600.
That's a tough question, coach. See, it's a lot of scenarios. Because, see, like I said, I'm looking past the money, because if I can go to SC, I'm in LA, and I can start right away as a freshman, I'm going to make way more than that million, and I already got the 600,000. So it all depends on how soon you look at it, not just the money, it's the most amount of money I can get along with how soon can I get on the field. If I take that million, but I'm like Arch and I got to wait 2 years, it's like, damn. But if I can take that 600, I can turn it into 6 million if I can ball out and get on the field ASAP and I'm in the right market. So that's why you got to look past that initial bag. You got to look at the bigger bag on the back end. Everyone gets caught up on looking at the front end money. You want the bigger bag on the back end. Everything is tied to
I understand someone turning down 20K, 50K or something, but it'd be very interesting. I wonder if some of these parents have been in the spot where you're like, hey, pillow talk me and my wife. We're going to let the kid make his own decision. But then some of those papers start crossing the table.
Right.
And you like,
wait a minute.
You want to go with them for $250. Do you see that they offering you $750 here?
Yeah.
You know. And does the parent just take the offer or the decision out of the kid's hands? HB up in here cutting up saying the guru would see that coming with those glasses coming.
Well, you wouldn't see it, HB, because your forehead would get in the way. Next question.
We're on to and then the great Jimmy says, Q, you got enough time to answer that question.
Right.
So, yeah, you're going to have some time. And Jimmy, you might have to answer that one day, because I know you got a young one coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
But that's deep. That's deep, man. If the parent just says, they talk about I could retire, and that's an extra $500K.
Yeah. No, great scenario. And there are parents that are really dealing with that in real life, T. So it's a great question. But again, look at that same scenario where it's $250 on the front end, but we get down here to Texas, and now we got one of the biggest Ford pickup truck dealers in Texas that wants to give us 1.5. You see what I'm saying? After we get here. You see what I mean? So you got to look at the back end more so than the front end all the time. The front end may look nice at one place, but like I said, it depends on the market and in the situation as a whole.
All right, you guys. So, hey, you heard Coach. He's dealing. This is real deal. Money on the table. He said, this is too big. I got to go get a lawyer to help this kid out. So some of you guys might want to do some extra wind sprints and push-ups so you can get to your bag too. So we got football on the tube tonight. We got the Ravens and the Chiefs. I know y'all want to get back to the game. You might even have it playing at the same time. Thank you for rocking with us on the Locker Room Show. We got a real special show next week. We're going to get into that. We're thinking alternatively. We're giving you every angle of the football industry. So very special show next week. I'll give you a hint. The gentleman works with many of the NFL athletes that you know. So there's your hint. We'll see you at the top. That's Guru. I'm Coach Wood. You guys have a good one.